Hello, thank you for tuning into WHMS Radio. This is the working hour. I'm Mike.
And I'm Shane, and on this week's episode, we are going to be reviewing the album Our Love to Admire by Interpol. Our Love to Admire is the third studio album by American rock band Interpol, released on July 10th of 2007 through Capitol Records, and Parlophone, recorded from November 2006 to May of 2007. Recorded at Electric Lady Studios in Greenwich Village and the Magic Shop in New York City. Our Love to Admire is the group's first and to date only album to be released on a major label, as they departed from Matador Records beforehand. On April 25th of 2007, the band officially announced the album title as Our Love to Admire, as well as the track listing. The first single off the new album, The Heinrich Maneuver, was released on May 7th of 2007. The other single being Mammoth. Paul Banks would later state that Our Love to Admire was the worst experience the band ever had working on an album, owing largely to the pressure and stress of working with a major label.
They're like, this is going to be the first
and this is the last goddamn time.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
No, it's funny because I really like this album, and with Deftones' album Saturday Night Wrist, I really like that album, and that was another one where they're like, this was not a fun time. We were going through it. So, Banks would later state that Our Love to... Oh yeah, so I already got that. The issues were owing largely to the pressure and stress of working with a major label. Following the album's release, Interpol returned to Matador. Interpol consists of members Paul Banks on vocals, rhythm guitar, also Daniel Kessler, lead guitar, Carlos Dangler, bass guitar, keyboards, and Sam Fagarino, on drums and percussion. The album received mostly positive reviews with a Metacritic score of a 70 out of 100.
I feel like I'm higher on it than that.
I
know you are. Yeah, you're a fan.
No, I feel like 70 feels a little low. The outlier amongst the reviews was a 4 out of 10 by Pop Matters. Fucking super disagree with you guys. Fuck you. Interpol is classified as indie rock and post-punk revival, and founded in Manhattan, New York in 1997. Do you have anything to add?
I do not, buddy. Take us into track number 1.
Track number 1, we have Pioneer to the Falls, coming in at 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Some background to this song. This song, Pioneer to the Falls, is about the brutal murder of Emmett St. Gillian in 2006 in New York City. The Pioneer was the first bar that she went to with friends. She left alone and walked to the Falls, another bar. At the Falls, she was kidnapped, raped, tortured, and murdered. Her body was found in the rubble of a vacant lot the next day.
Well, I did not know this, so...
Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, on to the song. The song opens with a ringing out guitar and some piano keys. This goes on for a good 40 seconds before the vocals comes in. The music comes off as very dark and foreboding. It sets up a really good atmosphere. At 109, the drums and the bass come in, really adding to that dark vibe of the song. Musically, this song is crazy good. The keys in the back are a great touch. The guitar, ringing out. It's one thing I noticed, a lot on this album, and even, going back, a little further in their discography is... And even, after this as well, Daniel plays his guitar in such a way that it, I don't know, it rings out. I don't know. It's very unique to them. I can't think of a lot of other bands that the guitar sounds like this. And it's consistently has this
Yeah, they have a very specific sound.
Yeah. So yeah, the drums are are heavy and thumping. The bass is like really deep, especially on the verses. Um, I love the "But if it's still pretty, what with all these leaks will be fine." Oh, and "Supervise." Really love Paul's delivery on um, "Show me the dirt pile," and also whenever he says, "Then you vanish with no guile," which guile means plan, if you weren't aware. Um, then on the second verse, the music pulls back, and the ringing guitar and drums spread out till about 258 with this like really solid guitar solo that transitions pretty seamlessly into the bridge. So much for make believe, I'm not sold. So much for dreams to see, I'm not prepared to know. On the final chorus, I really enjoy the line, "In a passion it broke. I pulled the black from the gray, but the soul can wait. I felt you so much today." Uh, there's also almost like a what sounds like a tisk like sound, like some sort of drumming, but on the final chorus that continues through to the end of the song, including the musical outro from like 4:30 to 5:43. The song is like one hell of a way to open this album. I think it has like one hell of a dark vibe, and the vocals and the instruments like really play off each other incredibly well. This is like one of my favorites by Interpol, and if I'm not mistaken, this very well might be my introduction to them because Justin, like he was playing like CDs in his car, and this is the first track off this album, and I was like, "What is that?" So I think this might be like my first
Nice.
proper listen to them. Um, Kind of unrelated, but this song was also used in I think season 7 of Smallville, so the Superman show. So
Nice.
unrelated, but yeah, I love this song. It's absolutely in like my top 3 by them. I gave this a 9.2 out of 10.
Very well done. Yeah. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I have a little note here. Probably could have saved it or put it in when we did the introduction, but in an interview with NME, which I don't know what that is, NME, whatever that is, uh, the guitarist Daniel Kessler stated, "We had keyboards on from the start, which we've never done before. It's like a fifth member. There's a lot more texture and interesting sounds. There's definitely progression and growth." Which I mean, the keyboard is I don't know any of the other stuff really.
Does like the "Ba-da-ma,
Yeah, but just the
ba-da-ma."
keyboard is nice, and it's definitely noted as there's parts with a piano, like a grand piano, what it sounds like. It's very nice. But yeah, it's a simple riff on the intro. It just takes about 42 seconds where we get to hear vocals, and that "Show me the dirt pile, and I will pray that the
the
soul
soul
can
can take
take
3 stowaways.
three stowaways."
Waways.
No, it's very good. The delivery is nice and slow, and it's consistent pretty much the whole length of the track. It's a nice flow. Parts get a little bit more singing and not so like drawn out and spacey on the delivery, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. I jumped ahead kind of around like the 2 minute 55 mark, and you get that, "But here comes the falls." And I want to say the guitar really switches up there,
Yeah,
and it's
it
just like
does.
wailing like
Yeah.
very steadily, and it's nice. And then around 324, vocals come back. At 350, we change back into the opening riff, but with a little bit more percussion behind it, which I noticed themes of that throughout the album too. I don't want to jump too far ahead. Um, but yeah, that just "Show me the dirt pile, and I will pray that the soul can take three stowaways." And now that you kind of explain the backstory of the song, it's like it's darker, but I feel like it's got a little bit more emotion behind it, and it's
Sure.
got a little bit more character to it for sure, in a sad way. But um, so that verse is repeated quite a few times through the song. Um, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a solid track. Uh, I think it's a great way to open the album. It's very to the point and quick. Didn't really leave a lot open. It's got a long runtime, but it seems to just kind of flow effortlessly where you don't really. I never thought this one dragged out, and I think that's something that really notable. Um, I didn't give this as high a score as you, but it is definitely one of the more higher score uh, songs on the album for me, and it's certainly iconic. Like I don't think any fan of Interpol probably would hate on this track. I just don't
Sure.
see it, and if it is, it's a very small percentage. I gave this track an 8.4.
Nice.
Moving on to number 2, No I and Threesome, coming in at 3 minutes 51 seconds. It's got a nice bass intro. It's a little bit different than track 1. 16 seconds in, we kind of get the rest of the sound. Everything kind of funnels in musically. Vocals come in around 24 seconds. It's a slow delivery again with the vocals. I noticed the emphasis on the lyrics to kind of mesh more with the sound
Yeah.
on this one, which makes it kind of more catchy, and I like the delivery of the vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the percussion's a little bit more involved too on this track. I thought it was definitely interesting. I mean, we could talk about the elephant in the room. It's kind of obviously just a guy talking about,
Yeah.
wanting a threesome.
Maybe we rip a
I
threesome.
did, however, see, and I don't really believe in this theory, but I thought it was interesting, so I thought I'd put it in my notes. Someone thought maybe this couple is not talking about having a threesome; they're talking about having a child.
Hmm.
And I don't, I only see it on a few verses. It's kind of like the person. I probably should have tagged him, or not tagged him, but shouted him out here.
Huh.
Um,
I'm thinking about it now. I'm like,
Babe, it's time we give something a try, something new a try. Oh, alone we may fight, so let us be three. And it's like
life is wine. You get
there's
older, it's like, let's have a kid.
there's a line in Family Guy, I think, where Meg is trying to get pregnant or something, and she's like, "I know what'll fix this relationship, a baby."
Respect.
Anyways, there's another lyrical verse too, because no one can tell us what love brings for you and I, and that's kind of nice too. It's stretched. I don't really think that's the overall theory of it. Um, it's kind of evidence that to me that that's not the theory. I like it, and that's cute, and I wish that was more the theme, but just that the contrast in that there's no I in threesome, and I'm all for it. And there's quite a bit of spacing in that too. There's no I in threesome is the end of one verse, and then the next.
And I'm all like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
nice. I don't have a whole lot for it, but
I was surprised that wasn't like those weren't like so closely followed up. It's like, no, there's a gap between
well,
those.
I think it's there for a reason.
Sure, sure.
It really creates a I don't know, just a state of mind, not a state of mind, but just it fits good.
Emphasis.
Yeah, an emphasis. I don't know if that's 100% the right word either, but I think we know what we're talking about. Um, I thought together though, track 1 and track 2 they're really complementary of each other. It's two really good tracks right out of the get go. I gave this a 8.1.
Okay. So, yeah, no I in threesome. The song opens up with Carlos on bass and this like really ethereal noise like in the background with occasional like piano keys punctuating the instrumentation. Then the guitar, the drums, and the keys hitting around 16 seconds. Song comes off as still like kind of dark, but with a little bit more of a upbeat and fast-paced nature to it. Vocals, like you said, at 23 seconds. The pre-chorus has a really dreamy quality to it that I like. The sound meets sound, babe. The echoes they surround. And all that we need is one thing. Now, what is there to allow? There was a swell of guitar that turns into almost like a twinkling going into the chorus. And then it's, baby, it's time we give something new a try. Like,
It's good. It's
yeah,
very good. Like I said, two back-to-back tracks where it's just like
yeah,
I feel like you can't really be mad. Listen, even though the one's about a murder and the other's about a threesome and kind of
maybe,
like a failing relationship that you're trying to spice up,
right?
but I feel like it's in good spirits.
Yeah, I don't know, they feed off each other pretty well.
Hmm.
Morse is a good 1-2 punch. Oh, alone we may fight, so just let us be three tonight. Paul, or just let us be three. That tonight comes later on. Paul also makes mention of life being like wine. So maybe having a baby, you start getting a little older. It's like, well, fuck, why don't we have a baby? Have a baby. At 2:28, the drumming starts to pick up speed, going into the bridge when the bass really stands out before the guitar like starts to squeal. And the drums start to come back up. Up until this point, the drums have like had a really substantial amount of like cymbals to them, like pretty much the entire song. This is really the only part of the song where the drums don't utilize them. It's when he's saying, you feel the sweet breath of time. It's whispering, it's truth, not mine. There's no I in threesome. Leading into the outro lyrics, I'm over it. Like I love how he drags out all, and I like that a lot. And I like the line, the feathers bend like trees
Hmm.
in the moonlight.
That's very good. I've seen a couple people online like shouting that out
Yeah,
on YouTube and on Reddit. I've seen two people, and it's like that is a very good lyrical. You can that's imagery, like
yeah.
just with those words.
That's
It's like imagery.
it's like imagery, It's really well
I like
written.
how you quoted
I
the
was I'm like,
original,
well,
and then you're
okay,
like,
no,
I
no,
see
no,
what he did there.
no, no,
He's
no.
right. He's onto something there.
He's got something. Um, yeah. The song ends with the bass like rising and then falling as the song fades out, ending much like it started. This is another favorite of mine by the band. It very well could be my favorite song by them. It really just depends on the day and how I'm feeling. Because yeah, this is right up there. I think it's still kind of dark in its vibe. This is by no means a happy song, but it has like a certain amount of like sincerity.
It's not negative. Like it's definitely like kind of a dark subject matter, but I feel like it's taken from more of an optimistic view.
Yeah. Um, but I feel like it has like this sincerity to it that I like.
Yeah, he's not like he's like trying to really put a spark back in the relationship. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I hear you. Paul has some deliveries on here that I really enjoy, and the instrumentation is great as always. I think if I had to say, Carlos, the bass on this song, like I feel like that's kind of the standout for me, like that,
Yeah,
like at
there's
the
quite a
start,
few bass
like,
riffs on this album that's pretty good.
and
There's also like it features a stand-up bass too.
yeah,
I don't know if do you know what a stand-up bass is? Because I
tell
had
me
to look
about
it
it.
up.
What is it?
It almost looks like a cello, but
Okay,
it's very there's not really like the wooden body to it, from what I gathered from a quick Google search. If
okay,
you're listening at home or wherever you listen and we're completely wrong, comment. But
let us know.
that's what I looked. I looked it up on the Google machine, and
Okay,
it was nice. And it's I don't really think it's so much on this track. Later on, I bring it up in a track because I noticed the bass riff and I was like, that sounds a little different.
different. Okay, I hear you.
I was like, stand up bass? What's a fucking?
Tell
I
me about
imagine you got
that.
to play it standing up, and then I looked at the picture and it's like, all right, it looks like a cello without the wood.
Okay. Um, yeah, I felt like this song, like Carlos on the bass, was a real standout. Which like I really love Carlos on the bass. Like he does fucking great. I I put here, when he ultimately departed from the band, I feel like they lost a really significant element to their sound, and I feel like a lot of people feel that way. Um, Even though sometimes like the bass can get a little washed out with just like how like
Yeah, you don't
prominent the
really notice
guitar
it though, but
is.
then
When you
when it's
do,
featured,
it's
it's
like,
like,
ooh,
yeah, nice. I think it comes with age. I
yeah.
think when I was a young teenager, it was like, oh yeah, guitar solos. But now I'm like strumming patterns and just bass riffs
Hmm.
really can set the tone.
I give this a 9.1 out of 10.
Respect.
That's my last nine
That's a fair score. Hey,
of the
no,
album.
it comes out swinging 1 and 2.
Yeah. Then we get to number three. The scale coming in at 3 minutes and 25
The
seconds.
scale is lowered. I'm gonna assume with the way you're looking at me after you said that.
It's not that bad. It's not
No,
that bad.
I was gonna say it didn't. It's not the cliff. It's just the scale.
The guitar riff opens the song, bam, 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 bam. Followed closely by the drums and the guitar becoming more layered. Um, if Carlos and his bass playing got the highlight in No Eye for Threesome, I really feel like Daniel deserves the spotlight on the scale. He really shines here. His guitaring really seems to like kind of guide the track. The guitar have sort of bounce to them that pair really like well with the drums. The lyrics are delivered in like these short little bursts, and given their nature, they come off a little like poetic. With "I have a sequin for an eye, pick a rose and hide my face."
Pick a rose.
To hide my
I got a
face.
funny note about that.
Okay, this is a bandit's life. It comes and goes, and them's the breaks. Uh,
Them's the breaks.
them's the breaks. At 0 minutes and 55 seconds and 2:19. There is what is either a guitar squeal or a distorted like vocalization. I can't really tell. It's kind of like I don't know what it is, but like it,
There's something there.
yeah, it pops up more than once. At 1:15, the music kind of slows down for the chorus. There also seems to be maybe some synth implemented on the chorus. Definitely some sort of keys used, usually to bring in and end the chorus. The sun, you sleep in clouds of fire. That's all, and that's right.
I like that line.
Yeah. And then it repeats, that's all, and that's right. The guitar also syncs up really well with Paul's vocals at the start of the chorus. Um, at 2:48 through to the end is just full like instrumentation. The guitar has like this fade and like has a warble to it. It's very moody. It's not a bad song by any means, but it's kind of tough between like coming following up like two of my favorite songs by them and
This piece of shit.
well and
It's
then
not a piece of shit though. It's not. No,
it's
that was
not
for comedic effect.
yeah. I hear you. I was gonna say we hit the clap on that. The coming after those two, and then like also coming before the Heinrich maneuver, it's kind of a rough spot to be in. I don't think like the Heinrich maneuver is like a masterpiece or anything, but like it's a good song, and it's one of the singles. So I gave the scale a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's funny you mentioned that line. I didn't put it in here, but my son,
you sleep in clouds of
you
fire.
sleep in clouds of fire. I saw someone on Reddit put it as like the sun, as in the fireball. You sleep in clouds of fire, and they're like, no, it's sun.
Incorrect.
And they're like,
Oh,
oh well, that kind of changes everything.
well, I suppose that makes sense.
But yeah, this was another one with a nice guitar riff on the intro that's quickly kind of funneled in with the full band sound, similar to what you said. About 19 seconds in, we get the first verse, the lyrics. I have a sequin for an eye, pick a rose behind my face. This is a bandit's life, and it comes and goes. And then
That's
the
the
breaks.
breaks.
I always thought not I always, but I thought that was interesting. And them's the breaks. It's different.
It's kind of like whenever Remy Wolf said, "If they know who I are."
Yeah, but hers was like a little bit more funny. Where
Sure,
this,
sure.
well, when you hear it, like when I originally heard it, I was like, it comes and goes, and then the breaks is what I
I thought
thought
it
it
was
was.
there's the breaks.
Because you
But
kind of like, I don't know, you make it work to fit what you think it's gonna say.
right.
And then I actually seen the lyrics, and I'm like, interesting, okay. The main guitar riff is pretty good on this one. I definitely enjoyed the guitar on this track. Um, More than some of the other previous tracks, even though I wasn't really high on this one. Again, I kind of noticed some emphasis on vocals with the music to flow well. Uh, well, I made you and now I take you back. It's too late, but today I can define the lack. I made you and now I take you back. I also saw someone comparing this to like a apocalyptic time period.
Hmm.
So I thought that was an interesting little concept too. Um, the the music is really good on that verse that I just listed off. Um, it's the guitar solo is kind of distorted. There is a guitar solo. I don't have it time stamped here, but it's later on in the song and it's pretty distorted. And I think it kind of
That.
creates a vibe. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
similar. It's just got an eerie sound to it. The fun fact is I never knew it was Picaro's. I always thought it was Figaro.
Bigger roads. Okay.
I did, and I
Yeah,
put it in my
fine.
notes. It doesn't even make a lick of sense. The vocal
No, dude,
delivery
like
is still slowish. When I sat down and listened to the track, and once I realized that Pick a Rose, it's like, okay,
okay. Yeah. No, I mean honestly, like thinking back to like I mean, even still, I hear a song and I'm like, I think I have an idea of what they're saying, but I don't know what the fuck they're really
yeah.
saying. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. So,
Um, Overall, I feel like we're kind of in the same boat on this one. We're pretty close on the score. For me, this came up a little short compared to the two previous tracks that just kind of come out swinging. I gave this a 7.1, which will take us to track number 4, the Heinrich Maneuver. Coming in at 3 minutes, 29 seconds, this was the lead single. The song's title is a play on the Heimlich maneuver and an allusion to the novel White Noise by Doug DeLillo. The song was also in a 2012 AT&T commercial, which I sent to you, which I thought was pretty neat. I got a quote here from Pitchfork. Paul Banks' lyrics are not cringeworthy, although you wear those shoes like a dove certainly walks the line of being a cringeworthy lyric. Um, I just thought that was a little funny thing. Uh, there also is a little quote in here where his vocals sound different, less reverby, possibly doubled up, and more Michael Stripe like. Come to think of it, because today my heart swings is the kind of lyric that seems it's the kind of lyric that seems straight from the REM frontman's notebook.
I could see that.
Yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of that. When I seen that, I was like, I'm gonna put that in there.
Yeah, that day, my... Sorry.
Opens up with the, if you want to join me on this, feel free. How are things
Things
on the West Coast? It's very uppity. It's completely different than what we've heard before,
Totally.
but I like it. The vocals sound a little different. As I said, it's a different sounding track. The main repetitive verse, today my heart swings. Yeah, today my heart swings. And it's very rock and rollish.
Mm-hmm.
That verse is replayed 5 times, but it's today my heart swings. And it's good. I really like this one. There's a change up to the delivery of that around 2 minutes 20 seconds. I just mean of the delivery overall of the track at 2 minutes 20 seconds. Everything kind of goes quiet for like 5 seconds, and then the guitar busts back in with the percussion, and again we get that today my heart swings.
It kind of like
yeah I like that. I thought this, and that's towards the end of the track.
Yeah, I think there's like maybe like one more chorus coming off that.
But I thought that really sent the track out on a high energy vibe. Did I give this my highest rating? No, it's my second highest rating. I gave this an 8.3, and overall I can definitely see why it was a lead single. I think just that chorus, today my heart swings. Yeah, really, that's all it's got going for me. But it's like it was a song that I definitely vibed to, and I really did like. And that guitar riff right at the end, that it's actually just the guitar right at the end that closes the track, is a nice little touch. I can't remember exactly specifically the noise, and I think this is something that if I ever saw them live, and then I thought about this album came out in 2007. It's probably very rare that you would hear something like this, but you never know. I don't even know what the size of their catalog is like, but I think this would be a track that would be nice to see live.
Sure.
So,
sorry.
I think I gave my score, didn't I? 8.3? Yeah.
Okay.
You're
sorry.
good. No, you're good. You're not stepping on the toes.
Yeah, no, well, I would say I wouldn't count it out because I mean this is like one of their singles, so I mean that's a good thing. And
True.
Coming up, I mean we're not too far off from the 20-year anniversary of this. And they did that 15-year anniversary of Turn on the Bright Lights. I remember us watching that video back in the day. And you were like, okay, Interpol?
Yeah, they have a different sound. It's not something I would seek out, but after I listen to this album, it's like,
fuck, maybe.
I might have to fucking... Well, it's the same with All J. Like, I didn't know anything about them until you put their album up. Check it out. We have it on the channel. And there's multiple songs that have now entered my, stratosphere of my musical taste that I would have never known had we not been doing the pod. So,
sure.
Kudos to you, sir.
Kudos to us. But I can definitely see like why this would be a single off the album, especially like with them working with a major label. I could definitely see them being like,
some seem kind of fabricated to be singles, and in a good way though. Like none of it really feels like cookie cutter.
If you look at something like Mind Over Time, it's like they were probably like, no, this is a bonus track.
Yeah.
On the Japanese version. Yeah. Okay.
I'm glad you threw that in there because I was questioning that.
Yeah. This was like, I can see why it would be I can see why this would be a single. A lot of the album is dark and moody. But this is a lot more upbeat in its tempo, instrumentation, the vocal delivery. His vocals like come in like really clear on this too. Like I don't know, it just sounds close. This actually seems like a song you could see people like dance to in like a party setting back in like 2007. You know what I mean?
Today
my heart swings.
It's good.
With like the guitar in the back. Speaking of vocals, this is the only song on the album that to actually open up with like vocals like first before the instrumentation follows. Like they come right out the gate. How are things on the West Coast?
Yeah, that is nice.
I hear you're moving real fine. You wear those shoes like a dove. Now strut those shoes, we'll go roaming in the night. It is funny that you mentioned like that line being a little cringe because on
I wouldn't define it as cringe. The guy from Pitchfork described it as cringe.
Okay. Well, if you
It
like,
is in a way, but cringe is not there. It's just funny. It's a comical line.
I feel like shoes like a dove. It's like I feel like there's probably a lot of doves in New York where they're from. So I don't know. No,
Oh, you wear them shoes like a
dove,
baby.
girl, probably drunk as fuck. Like say that. She's like, what?
Like a dove.
there's
I hate
a
birds.
there's a I don't think they're real. No, off of their first album, there was a I think it was Obstacle One, which is like one of the like might be their first single. But they have a line where they say her stories are boring and stuff. And I remember like talking to like my friends about it that know that song, and I'm like, boring and stuff. I'm like, don't say and stuff. That's
Is that all
fucking
you got?
lame.
Is that all you got?
like, it's like you really just needed to end that line,
It's
didn't
like Paul
you?
Banks need to go back to the bank and pull out something else.
Fucking the mind bank and
That ain't
come
cutting
up
it.
with something new. All right, you need to get a loan, boy. I like the West Coast line. You know, how are things on the West Coast with Interpol being based out of the East Coast?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. How are things on the West Coast? The second verse has some real standout moments. It starts with just the vocals and the drums. Then the bass has some like moments to be like kind of funky. Then the guitar has like these short second and a half burst, making its mark on the verse. Coming off the second chorus, the music fades out at 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and then comes right back with the kind of fades out. Like comes right back with the drums, the bass, the guitar solo. Let it come, well I've got a chance for a sweet sane life. Said I've got to dance, it moves into the night. Well I've got a plan with forward in my eyes. But today my heart swings. Real like high energy upbeat song by Interpol's standards. Without like losing their like little bit of edge. Um, Not a favorite of mine, but I think it's a very fun song. I gave this a 7.8 out of 10.
Pretty
And
close.
yeah, we're not too far off. And let's take a quick break on that because I need another beer. I don't know about you, but
I could probably use one too myself.
and I'm gonna take a piss too.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
All right, and we are back with track number 5, Mammoth with the Tusk. Coming in at 4 minutes and 14 seconds. This song follows the high energy from the last song, really just coming out the gate swinging throughout the album. This ringing sound will show up. It's the guitar having like notes that linger, or and I even put like perhaps like maybe like a little bit of synth in there too, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some something on this.
I think this is the song where Sam on the drums kind of steals the show a little bit. This is the song where I feel like he like kind of commands the direction a little bit. Um, it's like sung pretty softly. The spare me the suspense. I've got no currency, but I'm heaven sent. Um, and then it like goes from quiet to loud and clear. So spare me the suspense. Um, I think one thing about this song I really enjoy is that it feels like it has a little bit of angst and attitude to it. And I won't let you sit by so cold in the pitch night alone you can't make amends. No, I won't let you sit by so cold in the pitch night. We should dance like two fucking twins. I can't think.
Fucking
We're two
twins.
fucking twins.
Yeah, there's a nice emphasis on that fucking.
Yeah. And I really can't think of many songs by Interpol where they say fuck. It kind of feels like you went over to like a friend's house and their kid just said some really out of pocket shit, and you're like, what did you just say?
This isn't the little Jimmy I know.
Excuse
this
me?
isn't the Interpol you know.
Yeah.
Filthy pouty mouth. Gotta clean it up.
Yeah, I think you should take a bath. The ringing out hits again with the guitar in the back and some keys with the there are 7 ancient pawn shops along the way, and there's 7 aching daddies that you may want to know. The drumming leads into a fun guitar riff at 1 minute 46 to 153, and then 228 to 234. It's very brief, but it's nice. It's a nice little riff. There is this rapid beating of the drums leading into the bridge. At 3:17, the outro begins. No haste, no lesson, no lie, got a taste that I can't deny, and you wait till you know that it's time. The vocals and instruments picking up speed to wrap the song, making for a very like climactic end to the track as the instrumentation rings out. For whatever reason, maybe it's that some of my favorite songs, like by them, just flat out, just my favorite Interpol songs, um, like kind of start off the album. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh yeah, it's like I'm listening to this album because I want to hear those. But no, it's and then also maybe it's the fact that maybe it's because this song is like pretty similar energy wise to what came before with the
Mm-hmm.
Heinrich maneuver. I always overlook this song. Um, but the thing is, I always realize that like it's a banger of a song. This song melds together the high energy of the Heinrich maneuver with some of the more conventional dark energy that you might expect from Interpol. Specifically, like "I won't let you sit by so cold in the pitch night." Like I like that line a lot. I give this an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you touched on it, but this is the second and final single. Apparently, before the song was named Mammoth, it was called Pawn Shop because of its lyrics. And I have one other thing about that later on. This was one of the first songs to be recorded on the album, too. I have that as a little note here. This is another one that I really enjoyed. The intro sounds quite different again. The two singles, in fact, even sound quite different from each other. Um, and the majority of the album are like a lot the same, and they have that Interpol sound. There's a lot of standouts musically, which I like. Also, as you touched on it, this is the only explicit song on the album. I put in here that we never really noted such a thing before, but we actually talked about this right before or right after we went to break, off mic. So that's neat. And I didn't even notice, but Spotify literally will put like a little square with
Yeah.
an E next to it, and I was like, huh, never noticed that before until this album. And it's funny you brought it
Hmm.
up, and then I was like, huh, funny you said that. But that intro verse, that spare me the suspense, that's when it's the quieter delivery, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really catchy, especially with the riff and the steady drum beat. The song has a lot of energy, similar to what you said about it kind of just feeding off the last song. This is one that I thought was easy to head bob and tap your knee to, not even tap your foot, but just tap your knee. Like the drumming is very hypnotic in that way, where you're just like, oh yeah, I get down to this. So the song is described as an indie slash alternative vibe, and I agree, but I almost think it kind of has almost like a punk sound to it. Not like 80s punk, but like 90s punk, early
Okay.
2000s punk maybe. In a way, more musically, not the vocals so much, but music and the lyrics, yeah, because it is kind of a darker song, similar to what you said. Um, so I have a little thing here about Paul Banks. Apparently, he's a type of person who like goes on a road trip and is constantly taking pit stops at each little town to check out their pawn shop. It's a cool
Okay.
stuff. Um, so I'm not sure if that's real or not, but that does kind of correlate with the verse. There are 7 ancient pawn shops along the way, which I kind of wondered, 7 ancient pawn shops, is that like 7 wonders of the world?
Hmm.
Probably not, but I did make that in my head. Don't know if that's a thing or not. Overall, I really like this one. Um, I think the explicitness of it does kind of add on to it. It's got a nice energy to it. It's very upbeat, energetic. It's enough with this fucking incense. Just spare me the suspense. And the drumming is very like, I'm not sure if I'm correct here or not, but it's very like heavy on the snare. It's very just pop, pop, pop. And it's good. I gave this an 8.6 out of 10.
Okay.
That will move us to track number 6. Pace is the trick. I have this runtime at 4 minutes 37 seconds. I like the sound on the intro. It's very pretty. 18 seconds in, we get what I think is the more intimate and personal delivered lyrics up until this point on the album. You can't hold it too tight. These matters of security. It's delivered really softly. Um, Around 53 seconds, everything is kind of funneled into the normal quote unquote Interpol sound. I've seen love and I follow the speeding of starlight. 245 we get a verse. And now I select you, slow down, I let you. See how I stun, see how I stun. I like that see how I stun. Um, to me, that right there is around the peak of the song for me personally, around the
Sure.
245 mark.
See how I stun.
Yeah, just his vocal delivery is,
He's good.
yeah, no, he's very good. Definitely. And
I
the
feel
whole band, it meshes very well. It's a well lubed machine.
I don't know. I heard that like whenever they first decided they were trying to like put together a band, they didn't want to do like it kind of conventionally. They wanted it to be like everyone kind of equally contributes. Like what do I want to put into this? And I can feel that. I can definitely feel that, especially in like the first couple albums they put out.
Yeah, there definitely is a nice balance of like, all right, you're getting more of the spotlight on this one. All right, you. And then even when they're not like sharing this, or when one is like taking more of the spotlight, you don't really see it take away from anything else. It's still there.
Let me let me ask, like, do you have a like like a standout between like of all of them? Like, do you have like a preference on like who like you think is the most like consistent in quality of them, or do you think it's
I
kind of a
mean,
group
the vocal
effort thing?
delivery is definitely like the topping on the pie, I feel like. But I do like the bass. It's hard. I can't really, so I would say no. I don't really have a standout.
Okay,
I like it all.
okay.
But
It,
anyways, after the 3 minute mark, things kind of change. Vocals are kind of laid over each other. Around 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, we get the verse. You don't hold a candle three times before the song just goes into like the full instrumental, the remainder of the track, with a heavy synth sound starting around 407 and getting louder, and the music fades out to
mm,
just that humming synth noise. Usually, I'm not a fan of like such a thing where it's just like a send out, smack it on the bottom, play the instrumental, and that's what carries us out. And it's roughly like a minute of instrumental, but the synth kind of broke it up, and overall, not bad. But it kind of missed the mark a little bit for me compared to its peers. I might be a little low on this one compared to you. I gave this a 6.9.
damn. Okay. All right. All right. The song opens with like some echoing guitar, then the vocals come in loud and clear, with some piano keys in the back, setting the tone. You can't hold it too tight. These matters of security. You don't have to be wound so tight. Smoking on the balcony. The song starts to pick up at 52 seconds as the drums, the bass come in. Uh, Paul dragging out his delivery of "I've seen love." And I followed the speeding of starlight. Um, I love that, and I followed the speeding of Star Swept Night. The pre-chorus, I particularly like the inclusion of "Will I see you as you take your pride, my lioness." Makes me think of the album cover just because it's two lions attacking a gazelle. The lyrics and vocal delivery, paired with the instrumentation, really seem to invoke a sense of dire escalation. 218, the music pulls back on the bridge as the guitar and the keys go, as the guitar and keys go. On the drums thump one more time before jumping back at 244 for the final chorus. Paul's vocals start to layer over each other, and now I select you, and it's "I've seen love," and "Slow down, I let you. See how I stun, see how I stun,
See how I stun.
stun, see how I stun." Um, all right, not to break the illusion or anything, but Mike did just go to the bathroom. I'm gonna tell you because I wanted you to hear this. I like the line. Um, I see you as you take your pride, my lioness, because it makes me think of the album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you don't hold a candle repeats 3 times into the instrumental outro. The music fades out and there's a swelling hum, becomes more clear for the last 30 or so seconds. The drums are really hitting good on
Mm-hmm.
that. This is a another song that I always find myself kind of looking forward to. I like this. I don't put it up there in the same ranks of like Pioneer to the Falls or No Iron Threesome, but I put this up there like alongside a song like Rest My Chemistry. I give this a 8.2 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I was a little low because usually for me, I've touched on it before in other episodes. A 7 is good, and I do think a 6.9 is a little low. I could go 7.2 on it because now that we're talking about it, it's like, yeah, that See How I Stun is delivered in such a way where it's like that's worthy of at least a 7, 100%. So
Respect. Um, so yeah, no, I 8.2 for me. On to track number 7. We have All Fired Up coming in at 3 minutes and 35 seconds. The song opens with guitar and a swell leading to the vocals with some like pretty deep bass guitar. I dream of you draped in wires and leaning on the brakes. Another reference to the brakes. Um, as I leave you with restless liars and dealers on the take. The bass kind of fades. The guitar changes chords with another like swell to a pop with the drums hitting and the energy picking up. I like the lines. Um, I will stride you with desire of fault line, no crutch, no stall, and I can bind you with no ties and leash and watch you fall. I got this soul,
so
fired up this soul. In 141, the drums have a like 4-beat rhythm to them, as some clapping gets incorporated into the song, giving a little bit of a higher energy on the verse. Lyrics on the song are repetitive on the refrain. I'll take you on, I'll take you on, I'll take you all on. Um, the chorus, I've got this soul, it's all fired up. This soul on the and again on the outro, you're all mine, you're all mine. Around the 3 minute mark, the guitar becomes prominent, leading to the end of the song, bouncing back and forth between the notes, becoming higher and higher pitch, making for a really solid end to the track. It's not a favorite of mine, but it's a solid track. I never feel the need to skip it. I give this a 6.9 out of 10.
okay, I'm a little bit higher on this one than you. Um, I have, yeah, the opening guitar riff is nice. It's a little different than the other riffs. The vocals show up around 15 seconds. At 30 seconds for me is when it gets rolling. It's the I'll take you on. That's repeated 3 times. And then it's I'll take you all on. I'll take you on. Oh, I'll take you all on. I'll take you all on. Repeat it again one more time. Um, it's a nice, for me, like a little bit of a pump up song. Not that I'm really into getting pumped up anymore these days, but it definitely builds some energy and it flows in that direction where you're snowballing down a hill and you're just building, I feel like. Um, from what I read, this is the song that the stand up bass was used as an instrument. And for me, it's really noticeable in the early part of the song, 15 and 35 seconds we hear it. It's a very deep boom, boom, boom,
Mm-hmm.
noise as I recorded it with my text here. It's not really an obvious standout, but I really noticed it. And once I did, I came to really appreciate it. It does come back around and around the minute 44 mark. But the first sound of it on that first 15 to 35 seconds is where you really notice it, and it's a little bit more, um, it appeals a little bit more there. I really like this one. At first, I really thought it had a similar vibe to Paces the Trick, which was the previous track, and I wasn't very high on that, but now I listen to it and I'm like, you know what? I like it. So this one is a good track. I thought it kind of picked up compared to Paces the Trick, which kind of fell off a little bit for me. Even though, like I just said, it kind of did. I don't feel like I gave it a fair shake. Um, but all out of all the hits on here, this is no doubt. This is definitely a solid track. But I did give it a lower score. I gave this a 7.4,
Okay.
which will move us on to track number
Ting,
8. Do you want to
ting,
take the
ting.
Tinky Tink?
Yeah, let's do the ting ting real quick.
Track number 8, though. Rest My Chemistry. Boy, that is a bourbon whiskey, my friend. That ain't no freaking peach flavored
Yeah.
whiskey.
Oh,
It's pretty smooth, but I haven't had a lot of whiskey. Like I haven't had whiskey like that in
Yeah.
probably a month
Oh
now.
boy, fuck. All right.
Anyways, I rest my chemistry on that. Coming in at 5 minutes, 1 second. It's a very subtle intro. It's very quiet. Takes its time.
Yep.
The keyboard gets a lot of love.
Mm-hmm.
Around 26 seconds, the main riff hits, and I put wow. It's solid.
That's okay. Right
Takes
on.
its time before we get vocals around 1 minute 20 seconds. Does that sound right to you? Do you
Yeah,
have anywhere?
I got
Okay.
119. So
All right, close
yep.
enough. It really sounds like this gets us back to that typical sound that I've heard this far, and I've really grown to like. Um, which you've played Interpol. I mean, you introduced me to them. I mean, what?
8 years ago.
I was gonna say 10 years ago. Look at us,
Damn
fucking
near.
old timers. Pretty much, we round up around here. Um, but it's track 8. But it's just something about Interpol songs that I'm sorry, I cut. Anyways, it's track 8, but something about Interpol songs and the titles and just being able to sing them. It's something I
My
noticeable. Yeah,
chemistry.
I
Who
went
do
into
you
this song
think
and
that is there?
I'd heard it before, and I was just like, I know, and this is like blind, my first listen going into it, not really knowing, but I was like, rest my chemistry. I was like,
Chemistry.
oh, I know that one, 100%.
It's funny because I'm looking through it right now. I'm like, most of the
Yeah,
songs up to this point, yeah, I can
you
sing
can
them.
Almost damn near sing it. Like when
Yeah.
I see the words, I'm like,
Pace is the trick.
yeah, pretty much. Which I like. I like
It's
a
all
song that's.
fired up.
It's the worst is when you listen to a song and it's like
What is this?
that title doesn't fit at all. The name
Yeah.
of it. Um,
Even though it's kind of mammoth a little bit, but whatever.
yeah, a
Fuck
little bit.
it.
But it was originally named Pawn Shop, so
Yeah, it's all right.
why'd they veer away? I don't know.
It's
But
probably fucking Carlos's decision before he left.
You're just fucking
Motherfucker.
slopping that Carlos dick. But yeah, tonight I'm gonna rest. It's like tonight I'm gonna rest, and then there's like a percussion.
My chemistry.
Yeah, the delivery it's nice. I don't have a whole lot for this one, shockingly, because it is a good one. I read in a few places that this song was about drugs or alcohol, but it seemed pretty set on cocaine. I think Paul Banks I think he might be sober now, or at least he was.
I think he is.
After Antics, I think is when what I read. From what I read on the internet, he cleaned up. But I also read it could just be about being tired or being compared to a relationship. Rest My Chemistry is a clever lyric, and I think it's open to a lot of interpretation through the track.
Brain chemistry.
Yeah, a lot
chemistry
of things.
with a person.
Yeah, exactly. It's not my favorite sounding track, but I think it's really clever in the way it's written. Just that Rest My Chemistry. I think whoever you are, whatever you are, it's something you can
relate to in some way.
Yeah, you can put your hands on it for sure and grasp it. To me, I think it definitely could be a cocaine thing, or at least like a party type drug. The opening verse specifically, I haven't slept for 2 days. I bathed in nothing but sweat, and I've made hallways, scenes for things to regret. My friends, they come, and the lines they go by.
Mm-hmm.
The song really gives me a opening track to a live show vibes. It's something I think that takes its time building up, especially how quiet the intro is and the anticipation of the vocals. It's repetitive vocals, which I've noticed a lot throughout this album, but sometimes I like that. I feel like you're just hammering home the message. Maybe not so much in this track, but nonetheless, I do like the vocals. And it's a win for me because I do like the vocals. I'm curious to see where you're at on this one. I give this a 7.8.
Okay, we're close. So pretty slow and steady fade in from the piano until the 25-second mark, when the rest of the instrumentation kind of hits. The guitar like with the drums behind it come in, and then at 54 seconds the music changes again with the guitar like starting to ring out a little bit more. The vocals at 119. I haven't slept for 2 days. I've bathed in nothing but sweat. And I've made hallways, scenes for things to regret. My friends, they come, and the lines, they go by. I thought it was like, bye. So,
bye, bitch.
bye, bitch. Goodbye lines. Song always gave me the impression that it was about being on a bender and just needing a fucking break to rest your chemistry.
Maybe that's what I need is a bender, and then followed by rest my chemistry.
I mean, I don't know. It was like I was listening to this heavy in like 2017, where like the bender was like
Every
frequent.
day. Yeah. Dude, you remember? And I feel like we didn't even have hangovers back then.
I know. It was like nothing.
I could wake up and do it all again the next day.
I was like, we pound like a bottle of like fucking, what was it, Gentleman Jack, and I'm like, all right, time to go to Grandpa's funeral. I'm fine. The song
Nowadays, it's like
I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna make it.
you just sometimes now when I have a hangover, I compare it to like just like being a full life-sized raisin.
Yeah,
I'm just shriveled up, dehydrated, just
it's like I'm
been out in the sun too long.
I don't really know what to do, and I don't really want to do.
And my head hurts.
Yeah,
Why is it so bright out here?
It's all bad. Yeah, the song always gave me the impression that it was about being on a bender and just needing a fucking break. The song being more like slow paced and like lower energy, kind of downtrodden, it does give the feeling of being just like out of it and kind of exhausted. Musically, I think this song reminds me quite a bit of something from their first album, Turn on the Bright Lights. Pretty sure it's the guitar work that like really reminds me of Turn on the Bright Lights. Coming off the chorus at the 1 minute and 52-second mark, the guitar rings out again, leading into the second verse. One thing on the verses I always found noteworthy was that the first mentioned hallways, the second mentions stairways, and then the third verse mentions far away. The bridge is softly sung, feeling a bit intimate. You're so young, so sweet, so surprised. You look so young, like a daisy in my lazy eye. The outro repeats, tonight I'm gonna rest my chemistry. Followed by a musical fade out. I feel like I used to enjoy this more back in the day. It's still a solid track, but I feel like maybe it lost a little bit of its luster, despite the fact that like I'm probably wrong because this song is like pretty high ranked on their top songs on Spotify. I give this a 7.6 out of 10.
Okay.
On to track number 9. We have Who Do You Think? Coming in at 3 minutes and 13 seconds. This is like the final upbeat track off the album. This song kind of feels like it could be a companion piece to the Heinrich Maneuver. It has the slowly, I won't stop fighting.
I'm curious to see what your score is on this one because I was a little low on it.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I feel like it would be a good companion piece. The guitar clangs to the open before a rapid build-up of the guitar and drums leading to the vocals. Slow decay, I won't stop fighting yet. I like the guitar matches up with Paul's delivery of yet. This is another song where I absolutely love the bass playing by Carlos. I feel like it plays so well into the song in really all aspects, specifically with Sam on the drums. Daniel on the guitar is obviously no slouch and does a fantastic job and has plenty to show off, but something about like the bass and the guitar, like they bounce off each other really well in the song. Look to the 28-second mark to the 41-second mark, the 53-second mark to the 1 minute mark, and the 2 minutes and 8-second mark to the 2 minutes and 24-second mark. There's a lot of nice interplay exchange between those two there.
Interplay? You mean Interpol?
Interplay in the Interpol band, bud. Who do you think that is there? By interest leading out of despair. I know you followed the body, let go now to the coast of hypnotic that won't stop now. At 2:23, slow decay. I won't stop fighting it. Like, really like the way it drags that out. The song closes with I only call when I know I don't see them.
Yeah.
I love that the drums like really punctuate.
How's that go again? Nice.
Yeah, I really love the way they like follow that
You
up.
hear that sound? That's a wedding ring. That's a married man.
That's gold, bitch. It's gold ring, bitch. Yeah, to the end of the song, and yeah, I mean, it's not like a favorite of mine, but it's a solid track. I gave it a 7.3.
Okay, I'm a little bit lower.
Sure.
But yeah, I thought this was a change on the intro again. It's simple. I almost said spimple.
Spinful.
It's simple.
Space.
What was that? Shalina.
Felina.
Yeah. It's a simple spaced out guitar strums. And I noticed a noticeable string bend right on the intro. Pretty short into the song. Um, so that's like 18 seconds of that, and then everything kind of goes at once. I don't have a whole lot of lengthy notes on this one. Uh, I wasn't crazy about it, but it has a catchy verse that's repeated. Only call them when I know I don't see them. I only call them when I don't see them, or when I know I don't see them. Uh, Also, I came to fight. I'm in the air is a nice lyric. I came to fight. I'm in the air.
Came to fight, I am in the air.
I seen someone on Reddit where they were like, I can't believe so many people were like negative against this. I came to fight. I'm in the air, and then that was the end of it. And I was like,
okay,
all right, respect. That's pretty good actually.
you feeling it?
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of people were defending it. A lot of people were like, I don't know why everybody's so negative. And I'm not. I didn't hate it. I didn't dislike it that much. It wasn't something I would skip. But it does seem a little different from everything else. Uh, I put in my notes. I wouldn't say I'd skip it, but I might.
Yeah.
I might if I was tempted enough. If I was on a quick journey. I give this a 6.8. No hate really, but I don't know. It missed something for me. Um, I think it might have to do with just expectation. Uh, I really do like this album, and there's nothing wrong with it. I think I just mixed the mark a little bit.
Sure.
I'm not gonna dwell on it. Moving on though, track number 10, we have Wrecking Ball. 4 minutes 33 seconds. At first, I had a note written, and I wasn't even gonna touch on it.
You came in like a wrecking ball.
I literally was like, "Take that, Miley, you bitch." Interpol did it first, and then I was like, you know what? I'm sure someone else has done Wrecking Ball, because it just
Yeah.
I came in like a wrecking ball. I mean, you just think about wrecking balls. It's like, yeah, they're gonna tear shit down.
Like a wrecking ball.
Again, I don't have a lot of lyrics, or I don't have a lot of lyrics. I don't have a lot of stuff for this one. I wrote these notes late, but I will say after 4 or 5 listens, it did grow on me. It's definitely a grower. I've seen a couple people on the socials saying that this was kind of a grower on them too. Um, it just doesn't really capture what the other tracks did previously on this album. The intro is nice. The guitar work is fine. I have nothing against it. Vocals come in around 19 seconds with a whisper. Can it be true? And then at full volume, you get that nobody warned you, nobody told you to make up your mind, which I like. I thought that was nice. It's a nice delivery on that first verse. Um, and that's only part of the first verse that I gave. This one just kind of seems sort of meh to me. Dancing with filler for me. I'm curious to see where you come in. I might be way in left field compared to what you said.
Okay.
It definitely has solid parts of the song. Um, the main repeated verse is "Nobody warned you. Nobody told you to make up your mind. Nobody told you that I could just walk through and shake up your style. I'm inside like the wrecking ball through your eyes, and I change it all from inside." It's That's a solid verse. It's got great energy on that. Like I said, I have a low score on this, but I don't hate on it. Around 2:45, the song quiets down a little bit and goes back into that main opening riff sound. Around 3 minutes 50 seconds, we get slight echoes of the "Nobody warned you, nobody told you." It's subtle, but it's nice. It's a nice little theme for the song, definitely. Um, I wasn't quite a big a fan of this, like I kind of elaborated on earlier. Um, the song could have cut that last minute out, and I'd be a little bit happier with it. Overall, I gave this a 6.8. I think it fits the album well. Um, as far as it goes on the album, I would give it a much higher score. But just by itself as a standalone, I'm a little low on it. So yeah.
Okay. Um, I got from this point on, the album does kind of shift back into a more darker themed. If not like kind of sad a little bit. It's kind of what I got from this. Yeah, it does feel a little bit more sad and somber. But the song is also oddly like grandiose with some of its like musical decisions. Really, a lot of instrumentation feels kind of like reserved, but still have like an almost orchestral punch to them, kind of. The drums in particular are really quite deep on this track. Paul has a lot of room to deliver lyrics that come off as haunting and kind of devastating, punctuated by the instrumentation. Can it be true? And I got that, nobody warned you, nobody told you to make up your mind, nobody told you that I could just waltz through and shake up your style. Specifically, Paul's delivery on Strange and Far. All this hardware. Like, I love his delivery of hardware. Um, and Open Wide, Yard Like New Year. Like, I think that's great. It feels very emotionally heavy on his delivery of that. There's also like some background vocals at the 48-second mark on the chorus, and then a lot on both of the verses where it comes in. It says, "Don't wait." Um, at the end of every line of the verses, the "Don't wait" comes in. At 2:39 to 3:45, there's a musical break before coming to the outro of the song being the vocals played in reverse. It's kind of an interesting decision. The reverse of "I'm inside, nobody told you to make up your mind." Um, by no means a bad song, but definitely toward the bottom of my ranking on this album. I gave this a 6.8 out of 10. So look at us.
Look at us.
On to track number 11, we have The Lighthouse. Not talking about Willem Dafoe either.
It gave me vibes of it though.
Yeah, I mean, like with like its lyrical content,
mostly because
yeah.
that's like
That's what
all
it's
I
about.
can really attach to The Lighthouse. But
yeah, the guitar has a twinkling effect on it. It rings in and out to open the song for about the first 40 seconds before the vocals come in. The vocals are kind of dreamy and very like softly sung. The delivery of the vocals makes them feel substantive, but I feel like they are missing a little bit of like the emotional impact due to them being sung like rather like plainly.
yeah,
The instrumentation on this song, much like the last, feels like kind of grandiose between the twinkling guitar riff and the piano, especially from like the 2 minute mark onward. It feels like they're building up. At 2:44, the music goes away like almost completely. The only instrumentation remaining is the guitar, which goes like it goes so quiet and it like goes so far down. It's like a flame almost like completely burning out before like growing back, and the instrumentation comes back with it. Here I've been living unloosened from sin, upward and outward, begin. Here I've been loosened, unliving within, inwardly urgent, I'm sinking again. 4 minutes and 24 seconds, there is a like big musical pop. The drums like finally come in. They weren't really present on the song up until that point. With the bass, the keys, and what sounds like some bells kind of ringing out too. It's like, what? You're implementing
hear them bells, bitch.
It's like implementing things that like I haven't really heard like on this album up until that point. I'm like, okay, you guys are experimenting a little bit.
Yeah.
At 5 minutes and 5 seconds, there's like one heavy beat from the drum brings the instruments to an end as the song fades out. I like the song as a concept, and it has a lot of it has a lot to admire. No pun intended. But it does make it doesn't make for the easiest listen, in my opinion. I give this a 7 out of 10. This would make for the end of the album, but Spotify included the next song, and I think it's a banger, so we are going to do it too. On to you, Mike.
Let's take a quick little break. I want to get a little bite in.
Let's go bite in.
Yeah, let's
get a little bite in.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, fellas, we're back. My take on track number 11, The Lighthouse, is for me, it's probably going out on a limb here. I feel like by myself. To me, it was one of the more impressive songs for me.
Okay.
Um, the intro gave me cinema vibes. Makes me feel like I'm in a field of flowers on a windy day, which changes. It does give more oceanic vibes later on.
Yeah.
But this is much different. Uh, the feel that it creates is much different than anything else I've picked up on this far in the album.
Kind of surprised this wasn't like a bonus track, honestly.
That's a fair point.
Just with
Yeah,
like how like different it
yeah.
is
If
from
Mind
everything
Over
else.
Time wasn't the last track, I could see this being a bonus track or like a limited release, if anything, because it is quite so different. Um, but there's a lot of lyrics on this that I do like. I Face the Storm's Appetite from The Lighthouse. That verse is like slowly delivered, and it kind of really takes its time on the delivery. It's kind of sped out, or stretched out, I should say. Field of Flowers turns into being Oceanside. It's really a nice vibe creating sound this track is. What do the waves say now? What do the waves have to say now? Um, and that verse is delivered with a heavy amount of piano, which kind of comes in a little bit before the track, or I'm sorry, before that verse is delivered. Let me see here. Pause this. So yeah, there's a heavy dose of piano right there, and it's very deep notes. It's very heavy. This sounds more like a grand piano to me. Uh, and there's a lyric, I want that. It's like, what will the waves do now, or something like that. I didn't quote that lyric. And I want that is delivered in a sad way. And I found this one pretty emotional. And I think the overall sound of the track musically put me there. At 425, I think you touched on this too. The percussion comes right back in, changes up the feeling quite a bit. It's a very powerful song. I really enjoy this one. It's quite different from the other tracks. This one had a lot more, dare I say, orchestra vibes to it, and a sound that's very stringy. Overall, I gave this a 7.8. What did you give it again? I'm sorry.
I gave this a 7 out of 10.
Okay, so I'm a little bit higher on it. Moving on to the last track, number 12, we have Mind Over Time coming in at 4 minutes 48 seconds. I did really like the slow and quiet drip on the intro. It's a lengthy intro. The drumming comes in around 54 seconds. It's a steady rhythm. Takes a minute and 10 seconds for us to get vocals, which I'm going out kind of saying this without really doing the noting, but I think that's the longest on the album to give us vocals. It's a nice, quiet vocal delivery. Percussion switches it up once the vocals start. Uh, this one really appealed to me as a hidden gem. I could see why this one wouldn't be a single, uh, but with that being said, it's still really nice. It doesn't have the Pioneer of the Falls or Noah and Threesome vibe, but it's a different vibe and it's good by itself. At 2:32, we get a sound recording to Paul. The music was up as the recording plays. This lasts till around 3 minutes 13 seconds, and then the music really intensifies after that point. I didn't pull any lyrics, but I'm a fan of the Mind Over Time delivery. Um, this one wasn't superb in my eyes, but it was good. It was a good listen. I gave this one of the scores that I would anything above a 7 is a good listen for me. I gave this a 7.2. Musically, I'm higher on this than I am. Let me rephrase that. I'm higher on the music of this track than I am the vocals or the lyrics, and I do think it's a good closing track. Um, we didn't really touch on it in the pod, but I texted you probably 3 days ago, probably
Something
two
like
days
that.
ago,
Yeah.
something like that, and I was like, hey, are we doing track number 12? Because on Wikipedia, I didn't have no track number 12. They just listed 11 tracks,
Sure.
and then I got on Spotify and I seen that track number 12 is a thing, and you already knew about it. So it makes me curious if you have one of those CDs from 2007 and you're in the Americas, did it have 11 or 12 tracks? I don't know, but this was a decent one. You know, I wasn't against it. Like I said, 7.2 on this one. It's a good closing track.
Okay. What'd you give it?
7-2.
7-2. Okay. So this is a very interesting track to me. The song is like pretty depressing in its sound. The song opens with like two separate pianos. One is repeating one key just over and over and over again. The other one is doom doom doom. Like it's hitting three keys and like they're overlaying each other. At the 18-second mark, there's like some additional keys that come in with some light drumming and guitar as the music starts to build up, growing louder with some rapid cymbals like at at 1 minute and 10 seconds, it comes in with the vocals and the drums. They hit hard with a beat of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then as the bass like hums in the background. With Paul's delivery, it's incredibly moody and atmospheric. I will still be up by fall. I will still be up by fall. Either way, the verses are they're pretty ambiguous and poetic with a lot of lines that I really enjoy. Sleight of fate and borrowed clothes, songs of places no one knows. Draped in lace, we all lean over to greet the great. It's time. The chorus is repeated. The chorus is short, repeating mind over time, leading to the interlude at 2:21. There's some brass sounding horns like implemented. The interlude lasts until 3:14. The interlude is a voicemail from one of Paul's friends who had actually passed away. The music explodes back in after the interlude. The final verse is repeated. It's a repeat of the second verse with a variation, Greet the Great, It's Time, followed by one final chorus. The song ends with a instrumental outro, basically going in reverse of how the intro went, ending with two sets of piano keys. I feel like this song pairs really well with Pioneers of the Falls. It makes sense as like a logical conclusion off track number one. Kind of surprised that it ended up as a bonus track in a completely different country, but it pairs very well with it. Has like a very similar foreboding nature to Pioneers of the Falls. I'm really glad that Spotify included this song on the album listing because I feel like it deserves to be there.
Yeah, it's a good track.
I gave it an 8.4 out of 10. On to the bonus track though.
Well, closing thoughts on the album.
Closing thoughts on the album. So this was like my intro to the band, and I guess that a lot of the fans of Interpol are kind of like,
They don't like this album?
nah.
I hadn't seen anything like that on Reddit.
That seems to be the general thing that I've heard. Like a lot of people are like, I don't get why people don't fuck with this album. Like, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Maybe it was the fact that it was like, and the only thing I can really think of is like maybe because it was their only album that was off like a major label. Maybe everything else was kind of
Some
off
of it,
Matador.
yeah, I could see where it's like, it seems fabricated to be like, yeah, this is, but it's still good.
Yeah,
And we have that all around us where music, it's like, clearly this is created by a label. This is like propaganda by the label.
Lupe
But
Fiasco, we're
it's
looking at you.
still good. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
plenty of tracks off. It's still good. They're bangers.
Mm-hmm.
For me on this album, there was tracks that were not so copy cutter that were still bangers though.
Sure. So I don't know. I never got that. Maybe it was, and I remember it was the second time I worked at THK was whenever I got introduced to this, and I was like, ooh, I like this. And I could be wrong. I think this was either the last or the second to last album with Carlos as their bassist because he left in 2010 and their self-titled album Interpol came out in 2010. So more than likely, he probably recorded that and then left, but I wasn't really crazy about their self-titled album. And honestly, like I consider this to be like their last great album. It was like Turn on the Bright Lights, Antics, Our Love to Admire. Interpol came out, and I'm not really in love with any.
Trash.
I'm not. I don't really.
Garbage.
I don't love anything off of that. But then their 2014 album El Pintor, it's a play on Interpol. El Pintor, Interpol. Um, that has like 3 songs off of it that I like, but that's kind of where it stops, unfortunately. I wish I liked more of their
You're
stuff
like,
after
my
that.
love for Interpol left when Carlos left.
Basically, but like it's kind of fucked up because like he went on to be like he went back to school and become like a classically trained actor, and he did like a 1-man stage show, which like, hey, cool man, you're following
I think I know where this is going though.
you are following like what you like. But then he had like this like he had like a YouTube video that he put out where it was him doing like some like weird like artsy fartsy fucking like video like in his apartment, and it was the cringiest shit I've ever seen.
Like, I'm uncomfortable watching this in my own home.
And then like
on my couch.
I've also heard like a lot of people on Reddit be like, Carlos is a fucking douchebag. And there was like they were talking about like one interview in particular with him and Paul where like Paul was just like, God.
It's like this fucking dick.
And apparently he also said like in like a semi recent interview, he was like, yeah, you know, Carlos, he was difficult. Not too difficult, like definitely talented. But I'm like, oh, so he's a little difficult. Oh, well, I don't know. He came off as a little pretentious, but like he's very good.
Yeah.
Like the bass player is fucking solid. Paul Banks actually went on to take over as like the bass player after he left. So, and like the thing is this was a tough album to pick because I knew I wanted to do an album by Interpol. My 2 favorites are this and Antics. And initially I was like, okay, we're gonna do Our Love to Admire. No, we're gonna do Antics. And then I was like, no, we're gonna do Our Love to Admire.
A little bit of a yo-yo here.
And then
up
like
and down and up and down.
But then like in the back of my head I was like, but what if I pulled like a Faith No More and was like, let's do Turn on the Bright Lights. Let's do their first album and see how we feel. But I ended up going with this. So
it was a good choice.
Your thoughts?
No, I liked it. We talked a little bit off mic. I think it is a little bit more front heavy. But we've come to kind of find, not all the time, but quite a few albums are a little bit more front loaded. This is good. This is really the only Interpol album I know cover to cover. It was good. Nothing of it was really disappointing. Nothing was skip worthy. If I was to revisit it, there's probably 2, maybe 3 tracks that I would skip. But it wouldn't be like a dead. Maybe 1 would be a dead skip. But the rest of them would be like, all right, you've had your fun. I'm gonna cut you short. We're gonna go to the next one because it's a banger.
Mm-hmm.
And we touched on it. Track 1 and 2 are good, and then we have the scale. Track number 3 that was like,
yeah,
and it's not bad by no means.
It was a step down.
A little bit, yeah. And I think it's not so much just a step down. It's just the bar has been raised so high that when you put out something like that, that's below the bar. We're gonna notice it.
By it.
Yeah, we're gonna notice it as fans. Overall, though, it was good. I actually enjoyed this more than previous week, which was my album, Mazzy Star. She Hangs Brightly, I believe is what we did.
You enjoyed this more.
I did actually enjoy this more. And sometimes that's just like, again, expectations. I didn't really have a lot of expectations for this, but it did wow me away. And you played quite a bit of this album before, so I wasn't going into it completely blind.
I was just thinking back to the Interpol or that post on Instagram way back in the day where it was like, name the band, and you were like, Interpol. Little birdie told me.
Little birdie.
Yeah.
Little birdie named Shane.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good album. I have no complaints with it. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna leave it at. We're gonna roll right into the bonus track.
Let's do it.
By yours truly. I picked this out. This is Dearly Departed featuring, or I'm sorry, Dearly Departed.
Fingering.
Shaky Graves fingering Esma Patterson.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what old Esma looks like. She's
I
not a
don't.
bad looking girl.
Okay.
But yeah,
She
Dearly
sounds
Departed
exotic.
by Shaky Graves featuring Esma Patterson. I believe she's
Esme.
a redhead.
It's Esme because Lene
Yeah, you're right.
had the similar
How did
little
I pronounce it?
asterisk. Esma.
Well, I think the asterisk over the E makes an A sound. But, anyways,
Lene. Dated her.
hey,
So.
tomato, tomato.
Okay. Who gives a shit?
I don't know where she's from, so it might be different.
No kidney,
Anyways,
no problem.
I have been a fan of the song for a while. I totally forgot about it until a month ago, a few weeks ago, whatever. It popped up randomly. I can't remember if it was Spotify or YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put this back in the rotation. I think the two really make a great duo.
Yeah.
There's really only maybe one other song by Shaky Graves himself that I know, and I don't know anything else by Miss Patterson.
Yeah.
The music video is really good and honestly kind of comedic as the song is too. The song starts with percussion, tambourine, and hand clapping, which I like. It's followed up by the guitar and woo. So Shaky and Esma, I'm gonna die on that hill. They come together on the first verse. You and I both know the house is haunted, and you and I both know that the ghost is me. The two, like I said, have great chemistry and they play off each other very well. One of my favorite verses and the funniest in the music video is the exchange from Shaky where he says, "In the midnight hour, you came alive." Esma comes in with the, "I was looking for my crystal ball." Shaky comes back, "I was busy trying to charm that snake." And then they both come in, "When the sun came up, we had no place to hide." Shaky says, "And you had to tell all my friends that my fangs were fake." And she says, "I just had to." And on the music video on YouTube, it's him with snake fangs in the background. He's just like, "Come on, you gotta tell them that they're fake." So I like that. And then the last verse around 248, when they are singing a cappella, is really nice. It's about a 12-second stint where it's just nothing. It's just them singing. And then the acoustic guitar comes back in, and then it's back to the full song with the full sound. And then it ends with a series of oohs. I thought it was a solid track, and I'm ashamed to really only know one other song by Shaky and Shaky Graves, that is. And I can't even off the top of my head think of the name of that song, but I do know it. I just don't know what it is. I did really enjoy this track. I think it's my score kind of depends really on my mood. I gave this a overall span, and it's a wide span of a 7.2 to a 8.2.
Damn. That's a
Yeah,
pretty big span there.
solid point.
Okay.
But it really depends on my mood because, like I said, back in the day I was a little bit higher on it because I like the concept of it and the
Sure.
duetness of it. It's nice.
I get that.
But it's not something I'm always in the mood for either, so it could go lower than that. But
Okay.
anyways, what do you think?
I hear you. The song opens with drumming and tambourine and some clapping before the harmonizing comes in with the ooh, um, with acoustic guitar followed by the electric guitar. The chorus is sung together. Well, you and I both know the house is haunted, and you and I both know that the ghost is me. I like the back and forth on the verse. You used to bite, I used to moan, but I used to mumble and you used to choke. Well, I ain't so scary on my own. Tell me, honey, what's a dagger without a cloak? The electric guitar is very southern rock on the verse. It sounds great. You used to catch me in your bed sheets, just rattling your chains.
Just a rattling your chains.
Well, back then, baby, it didn't seem so strange. Coming off the chorus, there is like a rapid 3 beat to the drum to lead back to the verse. Music quiets on the bridge, softly sung, I hear you call my name, but no one's there, except for a feeling in the air. And swells back into the final chorus. I like how the delivery on the chorus Shaky Graves and Esme Patterson belt out their vocals. Well, I'm all grown up now. I don't scare easy no more. In the outro, you and I both know. Ooh, I enjoyed this bonus track. It made my like songs. It's not
Nice.
off.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
That's my goal sometimes with the bonus.
yeah. It's not off, which I mean I feel like that's kind of like all you can hope for. It's like, look, I got one shot on this.
One shot, one opportunity.
Let me
That's all I
get
ever dreamed of.
let me just get this one song in there to see if it sticks. And it did.
Nice.
It's not like and it stuck. It's not
No, it's
terribly
not.
fucking
No, it's
high
not
or
Mozart.
anything like
It's not
that.
Beethoven.
But it made it.
It's good. Yeah,
It made
it's
it.
solid enough.
It's a grade that like if I got that in high school, I'd be like happy with that. Like dad ain't gonna yell at me for that.
I ain't gonna get my ass beat for that.
Yeah, it's not often that we get a collaboration song. The two harmonize very well, and I enjoy a nice like indie country song. Funnily enough, I also gave this a 7.1, but I could see it being higher, like you said, depending on my mood. So, yeah, 7.1 out of 10.
Nice.
So that will conclude this week's episode of WHMS Radio. As far as next week's episode goes, you have the pick of the album. What are you thinking?
This one's a little different. It's called "I Want Candy," and it's by MCP Pants.
Really? Really?
Do the math on that.
No.
Oh, motherfucking candy, bubblegum
Mulligan
taffy.
To the sweet shop with my
No,
sweet
we're not.
hot Sandy.
We're
I
not
want
doing that.
candy. Any type will do. It's 612 Wharf Avenue. 612 Wharf Avenue. Okay.
That's not it. That was a joke.
Okay, good. That was the cover. Thank you.
Could you imagine?
I was like, I guess we gonna do it.
Where's that available? Is that on Spotify, YouTube,
It's on YouTube.
SoundCloud?
It's on Vimeo.
So I have. It's gonna be a choice. You're gonna decide our fate.
Me.
We have a couple choices here. We have a something about pressure. Pressure. You're feeling it.
Okay.
Little bit religious homing here. Also have like American Pride and something about being a perfect girl. So you pick based off of that perfect girl, American, religiously, or pressurey.
Okay.
Because I have those 4 albums, and they're all relatively they're old albums. They're before 1980.
What was the one about the girl?
Just perfect.
Let's do Perfect Girl.
All right, so we will be doing, and this almost is a double dip, but not quite. We are going to do the December 6th, 1970 album, the legendary Christine Perfect Album by Christine McVie.
Okay. Interesting. B. Give me 1 sec. Let me just add the. I just want to add it to my.
No, you're good. And then we'll roll into your bonus for next week.
The Perfect Album. Is that it? From 1970.
It's the legendary Christine Perfect
album. Okay. So, all right. So with that, I was thinking about giving you like a toss up of like the bonus track, but
feel free because I did that.
I'm just gonna. No. I'm gonna pick this one.
That's a dictatorship.
I'll hit you with the next one, but next week's bonus track is going to be Los Angeles by the Midnight. So I think you'll like it. It's a banger, and you've heard it before, but I'm curious to see what you have to say if you have to put your thoughts into words in regards to it. So.
All right, guys. Well, you heard it here first on the working hour, and until next time.
Don't work too hard now.